Our guys are excited to get back to home, SEC play, in what's going to be a great environment for college football and one of the most traditional rivalries across the country. I know our guys are excited.
We'll begin with Jordan Hill of Dogs 24/7.
Yeah, Kirby, I want to ask about Marvin Jones Jr. Just what sort of development have you seen from him in his first year?
He's starting on special teams now, which is huge, and he's gaining a lot of confidence. I was just watching some of the practices the last couple days, and he's getting better. He does a really good job. He gives great effort when he's on the scout team, and then he goes over with the defense and reps and does a good job of that as well. So we think he's growing. He's very intelligent, very conscientious, and getting stronger.
Thank you.
Next is Mike Griffith of the AJC.
Coach, I want to ask you about red zone. I know this is something you harped on earlier this year, coming out of the last game. The whole field goal thing. Is there a general, issue with it, or is it a lot of different things? I mean, how do you address something that intricate as that one portion of the field being maybe not as efficient with your touchdown ratio?
You just got to execute better. You put a plan together each week for the red area, and you do it based on sometimes what they do and sometimes based on what you think you should do regardless of what they do in terms of, players, not plays. And we go through that each week and try to out-execute the other team, and we didn't do that last week, certainly. So we take another swing at it this week and try to do it better.
Next we'll go to Steve Moulton of WZZN.
Coach, appreciate the time here this morning. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask about Robbie Ashford in particular, and I know you talked about him in your press conference, but I do wonder, he seems to be very effective outside the pocket and just decision-making. So I was wondering if you could speak to taking away what he does well, for lack of a better term. How big of a challenge is that, Coach?
Well, it's a wild card because he's gotten better each week as a passer in his decision-making. He's converted more and more third downs with his arm, and he's never not going to have his legs. And his legs are incredible in terms of making plays with his feet. He really hurt LSU with explosive plays, not really scrambling to run, but scrambling to throw. And it puts a lot of pressure on the defense when the quarterback extends plays. And he's been capable of doing that and done a really nice job of it.
And through 5 games, how would you evaluate your secondary, and where is in terms of improvement, where would you like to see improvement in your secondary, Coach?
Well, we got to tackle better on the perimeter. We got to play block protection better on the perimeter. We got to play the ball in the air better. Done a really good job with disciplined eyes and understanding communication lines of checks and things. But I think we can all improve defensively in terms of our tackling. That's one of the areas that we take a lot of pride in, that Georgia is not missing tackles, and that's something we can improve in the secondary too.
Thank you, Coach.
If there are other questions for Coach, please press 1-0. Next we have Gary Graves of the Associated Press.
Yeah. Good morning, Kirby.
Good morning.
Yeah. What's your impression? I guess you've had a chance to see a lot of defenses from the SEC West. Several of them are ranked in the top 40, along with you. What is your impression about defenses there? Do you see any difference between the East and, I guess, what's the challenge you're preparing for them?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I haven't seen many defenses on the West, to be honest with you. The only one I've really watched has been Auburn.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's your impression of Auburn then?
They got some great edge rushers, some good skill guys outside, athletic linebackers. They're playing high-level defense right now and getting after it. They play really hard and fundamentally sound.
Thank you, Coach.
You are in queue.
With a follow-up from Mike Griffith.
last week you brought Arik Gilbert with you on the trip. You explained why the importance of the connectedness. I guess just kind of monitoring. Do you anticipate that he'll have an impact on the game and this week? And how has that gone since he made that trip to Missouri?
I'm really proud of Arik's progress and what he's done, and continue to be hopeful that he'll contribute and help us.
Coach will finish you up with Dean Leahy at Dog Post.
Hey, Kirby, you talked earlier about this being a big rivalry nationally. What makes Georgia-Auburn so special in your eyes?
Well, it's the overlap, from the history of whether, Vince Dooley went to school there, Pat Dye went to school here, and they're both icons of their schools, and they crossed over. And there's a lot of geographic connectedness there in terms of how far we are from them and they are from us. And, there's a lot of Auburn fans and people who go to school there from our state, so it's makes it a link there. And I think history does in terms of the game and the matchup and the history of some of the classic battles that have happened over the years, meaningful battles.